I never believed in second chances until the devil handed me one wrapped in someone else's skin. That morning, I stared into the marble-tiled bathroom of a penthouse I didn't recognize, and Jake Hargrove's chiseled jaw stared back, his perfect veneers flashing in the halogen glow. Not my crooked teeth scarred from years of prison brawls. But it was me,
Mackenzie hale.
trapped in this thief's flesh. And the first words out of my stolen mouth were a promise. I'd burn his empire to the ground before he even noticed the switch. The swap hit like a freight train with no warning, no ritual.
No είμαι the scientist.
Just a glitch in the universe after that freak storm rolled through Chicago last night. I'd been crashing on a buddy's couch in Wrigleyville, nursing a beer and the ghosts of 8 years inside for a crime that wasn't mine. Jake's doing, of course. My old college roommate turned Wall Street shark, who'd framed me for cooking the books at his daddy's firm back when we were wet behind the ears analysts. I took the fall like a good soldier, loyal to the bone, even when he laughed in my face during the trial, whispering, "You're expendable."
Mac.
Always were.
Now.
Here I was, flexing fingers that had never shoveled shit or clutched a shank, and the rage boiled up black and biblical. I rifled through his walk-in closet, Armani suits smelling of sandalwood and success, and pieced together the lie. Hargrove Enterprises, that gleaming monolith on the loop, was his kingdom now, a fortress of glass and greed where he'd clawed his way to VP of acquisitions. I slipped into his life like a shadow, hailing a cab to the loop, the driver's radio droning about some tech outage from the storm. "Blackstone Tower," I said in Jake's butter-smooth baritone. And damn if it didn't feel like slipping on a loaded gun. The city blurred past, hot dog vendors hawking under the L tracks, suits hustling with their Starbucks shields, and I plotted. First, I'd sabotage the merger he was brokering, tank his stock options. Then, I'd dig up the dirt he buried with me, the offshore accounts, the bribes to regulators, the affair with the senator's wife that could have ended him. But deepest cut? The secret he'd sworn me to, that hidden run he covered up freshman year. The one where our frat pledge died under the wheels of Jake's daddy's Cadillac. I'd confessed to it on his behalf, pled guilty to manslaughter to keep his golden boy ass clean. 8 years for a ghost. And Jake? He sent Christmas cards from his yacht in the Caymans. The elevator to the 47th floor hummed like a predator, disgorging me into a hive of polished predators. Marble floors echoed my loafers, Italian leather, softer than anything I'd worn since the joint, and heads turned, assistants murmuring, "Morning, Mr. Hargrove." I nodded, channeling that cocky tilt he always had, heart pounding like a war drum. My office, his office, overlooked the Chicago River, a sprawl of monitors flickering with market feeds. I sank into the leather throne, firing up his laptop. Password? His college girlfriend's birthday. The one he dumped for a model. Pathetic. Emails flooded in. The merger docs for Apex Tech. A $2 billion play that'd make him untouchable. I smirked, fingers flying to plant the virus, a subtle worm I'd coded in prison on smuggled thumb drives, designed to leak proprietary bids to competitors. One click, and his throne cracked. But revenge ain't a solo act. By noon, my assistant blonde, efficient, named Tara, bustled in with coffee. "Jake, the board's antsy about the SEC sniff."
And.
Security called. Some vagrant tried to badge in downstairs, claiming he's you. My blood iced.
Jake.
In my body. The real bastard. Probably piecing it together in some alley. his pretty mug twisted on my battered frame. I waved her off, feigning a migraine, and hit the intercom. Double security on the lobby. No exceptions. But he was coming. I could feel it. That twin intuition from too many shared keggers and buried sins. Lunch was a farce, steak tartare at the club, choking down caviar while schmoozing venture capitalists who thought I was their golden goose. Jake, you're on fire with this Apex deal. One fat cat slurred over scotch. I toasted, mind elsewhere, tallying the ways I'd gut him, leak the hit-and-run files to the Sun-Times, frame him for the embezzlement I'd already pinned on a ghost account in his name. Controversial? Hell. I'd dox his mistress. Ruin his kids' Ivy dreams. Dark? I'd sleep like a baby, his screams echoing in his head. But as the sun dipped, casting the loop in bloody orange, the intercom crackled. Mr. Hargrove.
Your
Associate from downstairs insists. Says it's urgent. I knew. Descending in the private lift, I gripped the rail till his knuckles, whitened. The lobby was a cathedral of chrome and entitlement, receptionists batting lashes at power players. And there, slouched against a marble pillar like a bum from the wrong side of the tracks,
was me.
My old flannel shirt hanging loose on Jake's stolen frame, my prison tats peeking from the collar, his manicured hands fidgeting with a visitor badge. His eyes, my eyes, locked on mine, and that smirk bloomed, slow and venomous.
Well,
fuck me, he drawled in my gravelly twang. Look at you, playing dress-up in my closet. How's the view from my penthouse? Mac. Cozy. Security flanked him. Burly goons in ill-fitting blazers. But I waved them back. The lobby hushed, interns gawking, elevators dinging like judgment bells. He sauntered closer, reeking of cheap coffee and desperation, my old work boots scuffing the floor. You think this is clever? Stealing my life like some bad sci-fi flick? I woke up in your shithole apartment. Cockroaches for roommates. And the first thing I did was call my lawyer. Cops are en route. Buddy. Impersonating an executive? That's Fed time. His laugh barked, drawing stares, and he leaned in, breath hot. Remember that plea deal? You sniveling on the stand, taking my heat? This is payback. Squared. I'll have you committed, some psych ward for delusional ex-cons. Your body's mine now, and I'll trash it like I did your rep. Rage surged, hot and holy. I grabbed his lapel, my lapel, yanking him close. Our faces inches apart, his polished sneer on my rugged mug, my haunted glare in his movie star mask. You mocked me then,
Jake.
In that courtroom, with your silver spoon up your ass. But this, I hissed, voice a stranger's silk. This is me, wearing your sins. That merger? It's bleeding out as we speak. Your accounts? Draining to whistleblowers. And the hit and run? Front page by dawn. His eyes widened, flicker of fear cracking the facade. But he shoved me back. Theatrical for the audience. Security. This lunatic's harassing me. Jake Hargrove. Heads turned. Phones whipped out. The viral storm brewing. I could have ended it, snapped his neck right there. My new strength coiling like a spring. Controversial? A public execution in broad daylight. Self-defense twisted into murder.
But no.
Let him squirm. Take him to holding. I ordered the guards. Smooth as bourbon. Tell the boys upstairs it's a doppelganger scam. We'll handle it quiet. They hauled him off. His curses echoing, You'll rot. Mac. I own this city. And I straighten my tie. The king in stolen robes. But the real game was upstairs. The boardroom loomed. A war room of walnut panels and egos, where the apex pitch would seal Jake's legacy or shatter it. I strode in, projections humming with charts I'd already poisoned. The suits nodded, old money. Ivy Ghosts and Victor Lang, the CEO, presided at the head, his hawkish face etched from decades of hostile takeovers.
60s.
Silver Fox, the man who'd mentored Jake and buried me. Hargrove, he grunted. Let's make this quick. SECs circling like vultures. We dove in, me pitching with Jake's charisma, laced with subtle sabotage, inflated projections, red flags disguised as footnotes. Tension crackled, questions sharpening like knives. Then, midway,
The doors burst.
Jake, my body thrashing against zip ties, guards dragging him like a rabid dog. Listen, he roared, voice cracking my timbre. This imposter's not me. He's Mackenzie Hale, the felon I fired years ago. Check the tattoos. The scars, he's in my skin somehow. Laughter rippled, nervous and cruel. Nice try, buddy, a director snorted. Halloween's over. But Jake lunged, breaking free, slamming a fist on the table, my fist, knuckles splitting on the glass. Victor, you know me. Ask about the Cayman drop last summer. The senator's yacht. The room froze, eyes darting. Victor's face paled, a ghost of calculation. Jake pressed, desperate. He's ruining the deal. Hacked the servers. Call IT. I stood, calm as Lake Michigan in winter, and met Victor's gaze. Time stretched, the city pulse throbbing below.
Then,
The impossible. Victor rose, slow and deliberate, his chair scraping like a guillotine. The board gaped as he circled the table, suit whispering, and dropped to one knee before me, before Jake's body, my soul. Sir, he murmured, voice low thunder, head bowed like a knight to his liege. We've been expecting you. The room detonated, gasps. Chairs toppling. Jake's hull cutting through like shrapnel. What the fuck? Victor? Get up. But the CEO didn't budge. His hand extended in fealty. My mind reeled, the betrayal fracturing into something vaster. Expecting me? The pieces slammed home. The storm. The outage not random, but a signal. Victor's eyes flicked up.
steel on mine.
The protocols engaged. Hargrove's out. Hale's in. I froze there. Jake's polished loafers rooted to the Persian rug, as the boardroom swirled into chaos like a bad acid trip from my county lockup days. Victor Lang, the iron-fisted patriarch who'd built Hargrove Enterprises from a backroom brokerage into a $50 billion beast, knelt before me, his bald pate gleaming under the recessed lights, whispering fealty to a dead man walking in a live one's clothes. Jake, my body, his soul, thrashed against the guards, face purpling with my old rage veins. You senile prick. That's not Victor. It's me. We golfed Pebble last month. Tell them. But Victor ignored him, rising fluid as a cobra, signaling the security chief with a curt nod. Escort, mister. Hail to the executive suite. Full restraints. And kill the feeds, permanently.
Hale. Me.
The name hung like smoke from a silenced barrel. The guards hauled Jake away. His boots, my boots, dragging furrows in the carpet. Curses devolving into sobs. Mac. You bastard. What did you do? The doors sealed with a pneumatic hiss, and the board turned to me. Faces a mosaic of confusion and calculation, the venture vulture licking his chops, the compliance drone fidgeting with her pearls. Explain, I demanded, Jake's voice steady despite the hurricane in my gut. Victor straightened, all 6'4" of ex-Marine menace, and gestured to the head seat, his seat. After you, mister.
Hale.
The others murmured assent, sliding back like dominoes. And I sat, the leather creaking under borrowed weight. Projections flickered off, replaced by a secure line patching in from DC, no. Langley. CIA black budget? My mind raced. Prison paranoia kicking in. Was this a setup? A honeypot for whistleblowers? Victor paced, lighting a Cuban he'd smuggled past the no-smoking signs, the cherry glowing like a fuse. 8 years ago, you didn't just take a fall for Jake. Mackenzie. You took one for the firm, for the program. Program? The words slithered out, oily and official. He exhaled smoke toward the windows, where the loop's lights smudged into night, a million souls oblivious to the knife fight upstairs. Operation Shadow Ledger. Off-books slush fund for sensitive acquisitions. Not just stocks, assets. People. Intel. Jake skimmed from it, framed you to cover his tracks.
But you?
You knew the codes. Buried the evidence deeper than he ever could. My head spun, memories fracturing like cheap glass. The trial, Jake's panicked call at 3 a.m. Mac.
Help me out, say you did it.
I'll make you whole. I'd agreed. Loyal fool. But there was more. A flash drive he'd shoved in my hand. Encrypted files I'd glimpsed. Wire transfers to shell companies. Manifests for consultants in Caracas and Kabul. I'd thought it corporate espionage. But Victor leaned in, voice dropping to a conspirator's rasp. You were the failsafe.
Hale.
Recruited in '09. After that econ thesis on dark pools. We tested you, pushed you under to see if you'd break. You didn't. So when Jake panicked, we let you take the hit. Plausible deniability. Betrayal hit like a gut punch from Sing Sing's biggest lifer. I'd borne the crime. Sure, but not just Jake's. The firm's. Victor's. A web of shadows where acquisitions meant regime tweaks. Black site hires. The kind of dirt that toppled governments. And me, the patsy with a conscience, rotting while they thrived. You son of a bitch, I growled, rising, Jake's fists clenching. I confessed to manslaughter for Jake's joyride, not your spy games. That pledge, Tommy Ruiz, he died because Jake was drunk and texting his hookup. Victor's eyes hardened. No pity, just the cold math of power. Tommy was collateral. But you signing that plea? It sealed the ledger. No loose ends. We owed you.
Hale.
Watched from afar, your appeals, your shank scars. Then the storm last night, our neural prototype glitched. DARPA wet dream. Bodynet sync for field ops. Jake was beta testing in the lab, you were. Proximate. Incompatible waveforms collided. Swap. The room tilted. Not fate. Not devil's gift, a government fuck-up. Courtesy of the same suits who'd hung me out to dry. Controversial didn't cover it. Human lab rats. Identity roulette for national security. I laughed. Bitter and barking. Jake's timbre, making it sound deranged. So, I'm your ghost in the machine now.
What?
I get the corner office and a gold watch for my troubles. He shook his head, stubbing the cigar. Better. Control. Jake's been bleeding us dry, side deals with Chinese syndicates. Selling ledger scraps. We needed him out. You? Clean slate in his shell. The board's briefed. They vote you in tomorrow. Full proxy. The directors nodded like bobbleheads, eyes gleaming with the scent of stability. But the hook twisted deeper. One catch. The real Jake, he knows too much. Can't let him talk. Darkness pooled. You am as a Chicago winter. Kill him? In my body. My face splashed across the news as the unhinged ex-con. I'd be signing my own death warrant. Twice over. Decision loomed. Controversial as aborting a dynasty. Mercy for the monster who'd stolen my youth. Or the clean cut to reclaim it. Where is he? I asked. Voice flat. Sublevel holding. Sedated. But not for long. Victor slid a key fob across the table. Matte black. Etched with a ghosted eagle. Your call, Mr.
Hail.
Protocol allows. Termination. The word hung, heavy as a .45. I pocketed it. Mind a storm of what-ifs. Mercy? He'd mock it. Spin it into my weakness. Justice? I'd stare into my own eyes as the light faded. The ultimate self-betrayal. I took the service elevator down. Fluorescent buzz drilling my skull. Past humming servers and janitorial carts that smelled like my old life. Sublevel B was a bunker, reinforced concrete. Air thick with ozone and fear. 2 guards nodded, unlocking the steel door to a stark cell. Bare bulb. Cot bolted to the wall. Jake huddled there. My frame curled fetal. Wrists cuffed to the frame. Bruises bloomed on my cheek from the scuffle. A split lip oozing. He stirred as I entered. Eyes fluttering open. My eyes. Bloodshot and wild. Mac, he croaked. Chains rattling.
Jesus.
Tell me this is a nightmare. Victor, he's lost it. The program's real.
Man.
I was in over my head. But you. You were the architect. Those files you buried? You're op.
Lies.
I thought. But doubt wormed in. Prison shrinks called it confabulation, brains rewriting trauma. Or truth. Twisted. I unlocked the cuffs. Slow. The click echoing like a verdict. He rubbed my wrists. Sitting up. That old frat boy grin flickering. We can fix this. Switch back, whatever tech they got. Partners again. Like old times. I got a guy in R&D. Owes me. His hand clamped my knee. Clammy.
Small? Bro.
Tommy? That was us both. You drove half the time. Remember? We covered for each other. The lie stung. But the seed planted. Flashes of that night. Beer fogged. Keys in my hand.
No gaslighting.
Classic Jake. Tension coiled. The cell shrinking. Breaths sinking like a duel at dawn. You mocked me, I said.
Low.
In the lobby. In court. Every step.
Now?
You're the bum. He lunged then. Feral. My body a weapon he'd never wielded right, fists wild.
No precisión.
I sidestepped. Jake's reflexes honed from squash clubs, and drove an elbow into his gut. He wheezed, doubling, and I pinned him to the cot, knee on his chest, staring down at my own terrified face. Do it, he gasped, mocking even in defeat. Kill your reflection. Be the monster they made you. The fob burned in my pocket. Termination protocol, humming to life with a thumbprint, his thumbprint. Now mine. One press. Gas vents hissing. Lights out forever. Controversial. Euthanasia for a soul swap casualty. Mercy kill or murder one. My finger hovered. Heart hammering. The you and weight of what I'd become pressing down. Upstairs. The board waited. Victor's shadow long. But down here, in the bowels, the real verdict loomed. I pressed the button, not termination. Interrogation mode. Truth serum drip. Slow and inexorable. Jake's eyes widened, my eyes, as the needle pricked his vein.
No.
Mac. Words slurred. Secrets bubbling up like tar. And as he spilled, the twist uncoiled, reversing everything I'd built my hate on. The drip fed lies and revelations in equal measure. Jake's confessions pouring out under the chemical flood like sewage from a busted main, raw, rancid, reshaping the map of my grudge.
You
set it up, he mumbled, my face slackening, drool tracing my old scar from that 09-bar fight. The ledger. Your baby. Recruited me, Victor's golden boy, to front it. Tommy, you panicked. Grabbed the wheel after I swerved. Said you'd handle it. Loyalty.
Jake.
That's us. His head lolled, eyes glassy. Framed yourself?
No.
You framed me. Planted the skim, took the fall to vanish. Deep cover.
Man.
CIA wet work disappear. Resurface clean. Bullshit. My brain screamed, but cracks spiderwebbed. The flash drive. Not shoved by him, but slipped by me. Prison journals I'd burned. Ranting about the switch. Not swap, but the plan. Victor's kneel upstairs. Not guilt, but protocol. I'd authored it. The failsafe ghost returning to audit the books. The storm's glitch? Orchestrated. A neural handshake I'd coded in black site scraps. Body swap as my ultimate backdoor. Jake wasn't the villain. He was the mark. Loyal in his way.
Pleading for a ghost op I bullets. Me. Mage hale.
The mocker all along, betraying my reflection to climb from pawn to king. The cell spun.
Uaim walls closing.
The bulb flickering like a dying star. I'd borne no crime. I'd engineered it. Deep betrayal self-inflicted. The secret buried in my own marrow. Jake's slur devolved to whimpers, partners. Always. And I yanked the 4. Serum spent. He slumped, alive but gutted. My face a mask of broken trust. Controversial decision crystallized. End him? Tie off the loose end I'd created? Or mercy? Let him wake to a new truth. 2 souls tangled in one lie. My finger ghosted the fob again. Terminations whisper seductive. 1 press. And Jake fades, my sins with him. A clean slate in his skin. But the twist reversed it all. Killing him killed me. The architect erasing his blueprint. I pocketed the fob, unchaining him fully, and dragged his deadweight, my deadweight, to the service bay. A black SUV idled, unmarked. Victor's man at the wheel. Face a slab of granite under a ball cap. Directive, he grunted. No questions. Just gears. Rehab. I lied. Jake's voice steady. Off books. He'll need a new face. The handler nodded, bundling him into the trunk like luggage, and peeled into the night, taillights swallowing toward O'Hare and whatever blacksite spa awaited. Mercy? Or delay? He'd wake amnesiac. Reprogrammed. A ghost haunting someone else's life. Debatable, salvation or exile. Brother reborn or enemy deferred. Back in the penthouse, mine now. By fiat, I stripped Jake's suit, the fabric pooling like shed lies, and showered till the water ran cold, scrubbing for my old scars that weren't there. Mirrors mock now, his perfection a prison of its own. Dawn cracked over the lake, gray and unforgiving. As I logged the final entries, merger salvaged, my sabotage undone. Irony's knife. Jake's accounts frozen under anomalous activity, the ledger sealed tighter than Fort Knox. Victor called at 6 a.m. Voice crisp over the landline. Board votes at 9. You're the future.
Hale.
Past stays buried. I hung up, staring at the city sprawl, L trains rattling like chains. Early birds hustling to grind the dream. Power hummed. Intoxicating, VP today. CEO tomorrow. Strings pulled from shadows I'd woven. But the high soured quick, dark tension coiling in his gut. The twist lingered. Was I hero reclaiming justice? Or villain doubled down? Jake's empire just my latest shell? Controversial climax echoed. The boardroom kneel. Not fealty, but my own script playing out. Victor bowing to the ghost he thought he'd buried. By noon, the vote passed unanimous. Champagne popped in the executive lounge. Toasts to Hargrove 2.0. I smiled through it. Jake's charm a flawless veil. But inside, the nod, dreams of Tommy's mangled bike. Sirens wailing. My hands, not Jake's, gripping the wheel. Had I swerved, or floored it, memory lied. Serum's echo blurring lines. The firm thrummed. Acquisitions rolling in, tech startups. Foreign assets. The ledger's invisible hand guiding. Power. Yes. But hollow. A throne on quicksand. Weeks blurred into a tense rhythm. Dawn runs along the lakefront. Schmoozing senators at Gibson's. Nights haunted by what-ifs. Jake's kids, 2 teens. Sharp as tacks, visited. Calling me Dad with wary eyes. Probing the change they sensed but couldn't name. You seem different, the girl said once. Over takeout tie. Her brother's fortnight glow painting the room blue. I ruffled his hair. Jake's gesture. Not mine, and lied smooth. Just the job.
Kiddo.
Betrayal layered. There's innocent mine. Foundational. Then, the leak hit, a Sun-Times exclusive. Hargrove heir vanishes in corporate coup. Anonymous source. Jake's voice digitized. Spilling half-truths. The swap. The program.
My name in neon.
Stock dipped 8%. Regulators swarmed. Victor's war room a bunker of damage control. Plausible deniability, he barked, pacing my office. But his eyes flicked nervous, my eyes. Once his pawns. I played the outraged exec.
Føring PR firms.
But inside, elation twisted dark, the worm I'd planted. Self-sabotage, looping eternal. Climax crested in a private jet hangar at Midway. Midnight meet with the handler. Your boy's stable, he grunted. Handing a dossier, new identity.
Vancouver Tandboro.
Memories wiped to vanilla. Photos showed my face. Softer. Unscarred. Staring blank from a passport. Wants to talk. Controversial. Face the man I'd unmade. Or torch the bridge. I boarded alone. The Gulf Stream slicing night clouds. Landing in Cascadian fog 3 hours later. He waited in a safe house cabin. Pine-scented and sparse. My old frame bulked on protein shakes. Face healed but haunted. Mac, he said. No slur now. Voice my gravel refined. Or whoever you are. We circled a fire pit, flames crackling judgment, the twist's reversal hanging unspoken. The serum showed me everything.
Tommy?
Your swerve, your panic. But the frame? Mutual. We were kids, scared shitless. His eyes, mine, held no hate, just weary mirror. Victor's the snake. Used us both. Truth inverted, not betrayal's victim, but its co-author. Jake my echo in the madness. I handed him the fob, termination's key. Now freedom's. Run, I said. Or end it. He took it. Fingers, my fingers steady, and pressed. Not gas, but unlock, a hidden drive ejecting, files spilling, ledger's full blueprint, my signature digital and damning. We burn it together. Or we don't. Dawn broke as we torched the stack, ashes swirling like absolution, the cabin a pyre for ghosts. Happy? Tragic? Debatable. I flew back king of ashes, firm intact but soul fractured. Jake vanishing into Canada mist. A brother redeemed or rival reborn. Power's throne waited, but the kneel echoed, Sir. To whom? The city lights beckoned. Tense and eternal. Revenge's feast half-eaten. The bill coming due in mirrors that never lied.